Okay, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Downers Grove Township Board of Trustees for the November 18th, 2021 meeting. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lorraine, would you call roll?
Trustee Oldham.
Present.
Trustee Rickardani.
Present.
Trustee Stoll. Present. Supervisor Report.
Present.
And I will note that Trustee Ferguson is absent.
She is absent today. So next up is public comment, and just a reminder, residents will have an opportunity to speak during public comment. Comments are directed to the supervisor. We ask that comments be kept to 2 minutes to address the Downers Grove Township issues. Any questions or comments can also be emailed to supervisor@downersgrovetownship.com, who will read them into public comments. Please refrain from profanity and personal attacks directed at people. Please be respectful of all residents. We remind you that the public comments are not a Q&A session. Thank you. And before we go into that, just a little note. Last month we had a guest speaker here, Jeff Grant from the high school. And it was the first time that we were using the televisions. And during that time period I was in here, I missed a email that was sent to me for comments. That those comments are in our minutes. I do apologize for anything that happened with that, but I did miss that one. I do have one comment that was emailed, but we also have a person here that would like to speak. Mary Lewinsky.
I'm Mary Lemansky. I'm a Downers Grove resident.
Speak up, please. Speak up.
I'm Mary Lemansky, and I'm a Downers Grove resident. You already addressed my first issue with the public comment. And my comment was about my second point tonight. In 2018, Republican Governor Bruce Rauner signed an executive order eliminating nepotism in township hiring, and I urge the township to do the same. I want to add that I have been asking for the township board to adopt a no nepotism policy for about 6 months now, and they have yet to institute a no nepotism policy. This used to be a Republican policy, but since the party platform is now whatever Trump wants, I guess nepotism is okay. It certainly was for the former president's cabinet. Thirdly, I would like to encourage the township board to bring back Zoom meetings. The township largely helps seniors, and I know from helping my grandmother, sometimes it can take 15 minutes to get in the car, and that's as long as these meetings usually last. So I think it would be best to serve the people who use your services to bring back Zoom meetings. Thank you.
Okay, and I did have one here. It was emailed to me. It was from Kelly Dunn. I will read it, and then I have the second part to it. She said, "Dear sir, I would like to thank the Highway Department for hiring professionals to trim back the right-of-way on Clarendon Hills Road south of 91st Street. However, I'd like to know when the township crew will finish cleaning the leaves and the street to the curb. Also, the no parking signs were knocked down and not replaced. We have no lane markings, one speed limit sign. The area has been neglected for at least 6 years. Clarendon Hills Road and Kingery were repaved, but the section south of 91st is not. Where all the resident cars counted in the traffic study, the highway department needs to keep this area clear." I did get an answer back from Andy Anderson, and he said that the gutters and speed signs are going to be replaced by the end of the year. I do know the highway department is about a month behind with the tornado cleanup. So, there are some things that are still to be done this year. All right, with that, I had no other public comments. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the board meeting from October 21st, 2021 as presented.
Move to approve the minutes. Board meeting October 2021 as presented.
Second. Any comments? Lorraine, would you call roll?
Trustee Ricordati.
Aye.
Trustee Stoll. Aye. Trustee Oakram.
Aye.
Supervisor Report.
Aye. The motion passes. Next up, we have a motion to approve the trustee audit and approval of bills as claim presented. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the trustee audit approval of bills and claims as presented.
Yeah, second.
Second.
Lorraine? Any comments?
Trustee Oakram.
Aye.
Trustee Stoll. Aye. Trustee Ricordati.
Aye.
Supervisor Report.
Aye. That passes. Next up was the PACE contract for calendar year 2022. Unfortunately, we just got that contract and we're still trying to look it over. Just came in the email yesterday. Did not have a chance for us to look it over yet, so we are going to put that on the December, at the December meeting. Next up is the motion to approve Resolution 2022-1118-1, Township Township 2022 Board of Trustee meeting schedule as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. And any questions about it?
Why is, I know this answer, why is the second, the February the 4th Thursday? I know this answer. February 24th is the 4th Thursday, right?
Yes.
Why is that? I'm just curious.
That's moved to the
Oh.
fourth Thursday so that we have time to hang our budget for 30 days before it's approved.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, with the 28 days
With
in
the
there.
public hearing. and
Coming
everything.
off of January 20th and then March 17th. Okay, that's right.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, and that is a voice vote, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Next up is the motion to approve Resolution 2022-1118-2, Township Township holiday schedule as presented. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? That's also a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? That passes.
So the township office is closed on these days?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the motion to approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield Health and Guardian Insurance contract for full-time township employees to be administered by USI One Advantage as presented. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, and just a little background on it. In the past, there was only two plans that employees had to choose from. We have increased it. They had an HMO and they had a HSA PPO. We've added a couple. Basically, the employees pay whatever the HMO is, and if they do choose a higher plan, they will have to pay the difference between the two. So, with that, any questions about it? Lorraine, would you take the roll call?
Trustee Ricordati.
You got a motion, please?
Yeah, we have a motion.
I second that.
Trustee Ricordati.
Aye.
Trustee Stoll. Aye. Trustee Oakram.
Aye.
Supervisor Report.
Aye. That passes. Next up is the levy request, and Al, I'm going to have you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, just a couple minutes. You do two important things to run the township. One is to get funds in from the taxpayers, and one is to spend it prudently through your budgeting process. What we're doing here, what we're discussing here today is the levy process where you ask for monies from the taxing your taxing bodies, and you do that in basically by reviewing usually last year's levy, and then deciding if you need more funds. You are prohibited since 1991. You may have heard of the tax cap. That was a law passed during Jim Victor's governorship, where he probably tried to stop the runaway increases in government funding. Government taxing the citizens and spending it without any sort of bumpers on that process. So they created in Springfield a rule by way where you could not go more than 5% higher than last year's budget. There are some other smaller rules for other situations, but basically no more than 5 or no more than the cost of living from the last year, the cost of living index from last year. So your process is about asking for something. If you go higher than that, by the way, well, you have to go to a referendum to do that. And it's been forever since this township has gone to referendum and asked for more than that. They've never done so for 30-some years. So, ever since the tax cap. So you'll be reviewing the levy, considering it here, but you're prohibited from, you're likely going to say to yourself, well, how far can I go to have it both be high enough to do the job so that we get a little, so we can cover increases that are natural in our slightly inflationary time, but not so high as to ask for something that kicks into a referendum, and because, in all likelihood, you don't need that kind of funding. So both of these levies are built like that. The highway commissioner gets to do his own separate one, and it's on here for approval to be discussed. Generally speaking, I'm discussing it now. And the highway commissioner typically asks for a number that he confidently thinks he can increase the levy to cover his increases in oil and gas and service charges that or other expenses that he has, including employees who have wage increases that are consistently going up. You're doing the same thing, and your decisions are exactly the same as the highway commissioners. You're going to, in all likelihood, find a way to ask for a levy that doesn't kick you into a referendum. And by the way, if you ask for, somebody might say, what if I ask for more than I deserve? It don't, because it's it's less than 5% higher, but it's more than the cost of living. The county will not give you the money. They simply, the county, you file this levy with the county clerk and the treasurer will not give you more than they will police your levy, so you won't get the money anyway. So your budget, your levy process, your numbers that you're going to be reviewing now for vote in January, in December, are going to reflect a slight increase from last year, and that's probably prudent government, and you're doing a good job if you can follow that mandate. Any questions?
I don't know. It's probably.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's different than the budget is where you plan your bill, how you're running your government, where you're going to put money, pockets of money that need to go for different services and costs that the township gets. This is where you ask for the money to fund the budget that you're going to approve later on. And there's separate rules for both of them, and but I just laid the rules out. So you're going to get, in all likelihood, ask for a slight increase in your budget, your levy. That will be fine. Nobody in the county will pass it through. You're going to file it the third week in third Tuesday,
Fourth Tuesday. Last Tuesday of December.
Last Tuesday in December, you're going to file with the county clerk. So you're going to pass that in December. And,
So
tonight your discussion only, and that's part of what I'm doing here.
We're approving the motion to discuss it.
No.
Now, there's no vote here, it's just discussion.
There's no vote. It's a motion.
It's says motion, but fear not, you're not.
At the end, it says discussion only, and it's not underlined.
Okay.
Don't worry about the motion. The public should know that it's on the table to be discussed.
Okay.
And we're not going to vote on it here, but we could have a deep dive into it. In all likelihood, you're going to go back to the books and look at it, ask some questions, get a better handle about what I've said and how it plays into the numbers, and then come back in December. And it probably will be an easy thing to approve because you're doing nothing extraordinary unless you come back and say, my God, we need 20% higher, we're going to go to referendum. Then the whole thing changes.
Right. Which we will not.
You have to, something extraordinary.
Okay.
Does that happen in some townships?
Would happen occasionally, but it's usually a big deal, you know.
Some disaster or something?
Yeah, no, it's usually something goofy or a disaster or something. And in fact, if you go deeply into the statutes, there are some townships that have actually asked Springfield to lower what they can do because they don't want, there's some townships that have gone a little off kilter here and they come back to Springfield and ask for a little help to manage their own planning. That doesn't happen to any unit of government that I know about in DuPage County for 35 years. So most government entities avoid referendums, play the game appropriate, think of it as being part of their business plan to cover cost of living increases and live within their budget or live within their means. So your budget's another thing. But this is how you get your money for your budget.
And I think one of the things that, is got to be taken into account is what's going on, the cost to heat this place. We now have 2 buildings. This is a little bit different than we've had in the past where we just had the 1 building. So it's kind of, where utilities going to be, where other things going to be the next year, which is, we're seeing prices skyrocket right now. So I have to take that into consideration, and we will when we're doing the budget coming up, because that's coming up right, starting next month as well. So we need to sort of take a look at that and figure out. The budget is a game plan, and it's where we think we're going to be and where we think items will process. So we do need to take that into consideration to make sure the levy is proper. So we will talk about that more in December. Any other questions? Next is the Supervisor's Report. Just wanted to touch base on a few things. First off, I had gotten an email from John from Fish, and last week was their all-time record. They served over 131 families in the 2 days that they're open, which is much higher than that they've had in the past. And today we have a senior meal program. Anybody 60 and older, doesn't matter anything about how well off they are, but anybody that's 60 or over can come and get a packet. It's a little packet. It's a 5-thing packet of meals. And there was 150 of those that were given out today. So our computer classes are continuing in here. We've had some other things that we're working on with PRC, People's Resource Center. We are also looking to go and help work with other places as well, such as the Hinsdale Community House and possibly the Downers Grove Park District. So we're looking, we should have a full set of classes in here starting in January.
Some of which are going to derive some income.
Correct. That is the Supervisor's Report. Assessor did not give me one. Did get one from Andy. The Highway Report. Last month, the Highway Department has been working on the following projects. We finished the fall brush pickup in sections 4 and 5, which included the pickup. The Bruce Lake subdivision, we spread dirt and seed in areas of the right-of-way damage during the tornado cleanup in June. We are continuing to patch driveways where we replaced culverts this year. We repaired and/or rebuilt storm sewer basins on 57th Street and Holmes Avenue off of Nielsen Lane. Our asphalt contractor started grinding, patching, and paving roads on this year's list. Subdivisions where we are paving include Farmingdale South, Babson Park, Secret subdivisions, and portions of Kingery Quarter. Patching will be done in Farmingdale North, Bellevue Estates, and Lake in the Woods. Our brush and tree chipped several trees that came down in the right-of-ways. They took down trees in the Rose Hill Estates and trimmed trees in Liberty Park, in Farmingdale North subdivision, and Pleasantdale subdivision. Our tree contractor removed the last bit of brush on the South Clarendon Hills Road right-of-way. Upcoming projects on South Clarendon Hills Road relating to Mrs. Dunn's letter, which I wrote earlier, or read earlier. Speed signs and no parking signs will be replaced where missing or weathered to a point of being hard to read. Gutters will be cleaned of debris. Work will be done later this year. And that was it. Do we have any old business to discuss? No. Or any new business? And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. And let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the next regular Downers Grove Township Board meeting will be on Thursday, December 16th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in this building.
Great.